Hello, teachers. Step 3 to closing your SLO is the most crucial step of all, which is calculating the final student growth. You'll do this by comparing the TSP target to the end of year rating for all students in the SLO class. If you cannot score a student due to missing data, then you will need to remove the student from the SLO group by editing the student list. I will show you how to do this in a later part of the video. Let's begin. Let's look at example number 1. If the end of year rating is lower than the TSP, you will mark the student as did not grow. Let's talk about that for a second. Here's our example. TSP, that's the target that the teacher set for this student at the beginning of the year. Don't forget that you gave the student a baseline test and gave them their ISP rating or initial skill profile rating. As soon as you gave them their ISP rating, you were then asked to create a target for that student to meet by the end of the year. So to calculate student growth, you're going to find out whether or not the student met or did not meet your target. In this example, the target set for this student was 3 dots, typical. However, the body of evidence showed that this student was well below typical. So the end of year rating did not show that the student met the teacher's target. So we marked that student as did not grow. Number 2, if the end of year rating is the same as the TSP, mark the student as expected growth. Here's what that means. In this example, this teacher set this student's target as 4 dots above typical. The body of evidence by the end of the year showed that this student was indeed well above typical, which is 4 dots again. So since the ratings are the same, the student met this targeted growth. So you put expected growth. The student got expected growth. They achieved what the teacher said the kid would do at the beginning of the year. Example C. If the end of year rating is higher than the TSP, you mark the student as exceeded growth. Here's what that looks like. In this example, the teacher set the target for the student at 3 dots, which is typical. However, the body of evidence showed that this student actually achieved well above typical throughout the year. So, end of year rating shows that the target was met. And not only was it met, it was exceeded. So you mark this kid as exceeded growth. Let's look at an example here in Eduphoria. Look at our very last student, first of all. Notice we don't have data because the student was out for long periods of time, or they went to another school, or they were at an alternative school for too long a period of time. So since we don't have data for them, we need to remove them from our list. To do that, go to the student section. Next to that, you'll see a pencil icon. Click on the pencil icon. To remove a student, simply find them in your list, uncheck their name, click Done, and this will remove the student from the list. Notice now we have student with full data sets that we can go ahead and score. Before you finish, you must score every student. Every student must have a final student growth score. Again, if you cannot score a student, click on the pencil and remove the student from your list. Let's go over the last 2 examples. TSP target, 3 dots. EOY rating, we showed that the student exceeded what the teacher set as a target, so this would be exceeded growth. Last example, 5 dots. EOY rating, 5 dots. The target and the EOY rating are the same, so this is considered expected growth.